We should be flying less, right? Right? No, I'm in Lille. I got here via the Eurostar. Yeah, I can't help but wonder, should we be flying less for the environment? Is that something we should be doing? Like going vegan, like not driving, like getting public transport more? I don't know, we're gonna chat about it. That's what we're doing today. We're having a big old chat about whether or not we should be giving up flying, whether or not we should be getting the Eurostar, getting the coaches, doing all that to enjoy a holiday. Should we be enjoying holidays? All these questions and more we're gonna answer whilst I'm away in Lille. Yeah, I've only gotten the Eurostar a couple of times, and to be honest, the first time I got it, I actually got a free upgrade, which was incredible. That was a right treat. I asked someone to help film me get on the train.
Yes.
Yeah. And it ended up being like the train guard called up if there was any free upgrades available and then sorted that out for me. He did ask me out on a date at the end of it, and I didn't really have time for that. But it's never happened to me on a flight. So I like that about the Eurostar. The Eurostar's alright, it's pretty fast, that's nice. It took like just under 2.5 hours for me to get to Lille today. That train this morning I thought went so fast for a 2.5 hour train, and I was just so sleepy. No guys, we've gone forward an hour. That's what's happened here. So it was like an hour and 20 minutes. How nice. I feel like an idiot. So yeah, Lille. Very near. And I'm kind of thinking about it, and I don't really understand why it costs so much to be on train for like an hour. I get that it's like high speeds, we're going to another country, there's all that admin involved with all like the security and stuff, but like rail travel could be a lot cheaper. I really believe that, and I think it should be. For me as well, it's a lot easier to get to King's Cross in London than heading out of London to get to a London airport, but that really depends on where you live. And I'd say just like kind of going through train security is generally faster than flight security, just about. It still is a bit of faff, and you're like, oh, why am I doing all this? It's just a train. But you still have to put like your luggage through security, you still have to do the whole passport control thing. But yeah, I think for me the thing that puts me off the Eurostar is definitely the cost. When I went to Portugal earlier this year, I tried to do that flight free. I did look at trains initially because they are so much faster than coaches, but price wise it was going to cost so much more, especially the Eurostar. This trip I booked quite far in advance. I'm very flexible with my times as well. They do have a cute little tool on their booking site where you can kind of have an outlook on the month and see like the cheapest fare per day and then kind of decide that way. So that helped me not spend so much, but it's still like, it's not as cheap as coaches, but it is faster, and I think a lot more people are open to getting the train than the coach. So yeah, mixed bag there. I will admit though, as far as trains go, I still have not done interrailing, which I know is a great way of travelling around Europe, and I hear it's pretty cost efficient. So any feedback on that I would love to see in the comments, because I think it's something I would be keen to do maybe next year, like maybe go away for a month to 3 months. I'm not sure. It's a dream at the moment. I would say one of the worst things about going flight free of your travel is obviously it's easier to do the more local you are, and I think we all have different preferences when we go on holiday, when we travel. For me, I like to go somewhere warm and sunny. I like lying in the sun, getting in the pool, going to the beach. That is what I love. And sadly, when I get the Eurostar, I'm really not that far away from the British summer, which means I'm just getting rained on in a whole other city. And yeah, like I said, different reasons people like travel. If your family are far away, like I don't know, you've got family in Australia, you've got family in Greece, you've got family in Bangladesh, like these aren't places you're going to be getting the coach or the train to really every time you want to see your mum or dad. Yeah, it's not particularly practical for every destination, is it? And also I don't think that means that we should be only traveling local. I'm not telling anyone that they shouldn't be seeing their like family or close friends. Like one of my close friends, she lives in Jordan. Should I tell her like, no, don't fly back to London to see me and everyone, you should stay there now? Like absolutely not. I think it's like just one of those things where I compare it to like veganism. Like people always say like as an individual, like the biggest things we can do is like go vegan, give up flying, don't drive. I can't drive and I've been vegan since 2007, but I'm not ready to give up holidays. And I just think that traveling brings a lot more richness to life and our society than eating meat. So if you're gonna do one thing for the environment, yeah, I just don't think they're comparable, to be honest. I do think travel just makes everyone's lives a bit richer and our well-being a lot better. But I don't know, let me know your thoughts on that one, because I guess it's easy to say when I'm willing to go without meat and driving, but I don't want to go without flights. Yeah, let me know if that's a fair comparison. Oh, so I've just had the best nap, but I've just woken up to a text from Flixbus saying that bus to Brussels has been cancelled. So I was going to go Bruges tomorrow to book my ticket. It cost me about like 25 quid return. Like the way out was 20 quid and then the way back was around a fiver. I only booked it the other day, so it's not like I've had this in diary for forever, but I've not had this problem with Flixbus yet, and I'm a bit miffed, if I'm honest. But it is what it is. Flixbus sent me another email saying that my bus is not cancelled anymore. So I'll double check my booking because I'm confused about whether or not I'm going to Bruges tomorrow. I think the thing is, even if this bus is running, and this one is the one that's got the question mark over it, not my evening one, but if I can't get back tonight, yeah, my confidence is shaken, and it will definitely put me out of pocket if I can't get my like £4 bus back. We'll see what happens. God, that was so quick. I was off before I even knew it. Yeah, 1 hour later, I'm now in Bruges. I'm in Brussels. My first time in Brussels too. One thing about flight-free holidays is that it really makes you think differently about your holidays, how you structure them, where you go. It's quite exciting for me now because this is the first year I've really tried doing this sort of stuff. I've definitely been to France before, like via the Eurostar or a ferry over the years, but actually trying to do intentional flight-free travel, it's very new to me this year. So that's what made me choose Lille. I wasn't like, oh, I want to go to Lille, let's see if I can do the Eurostar. I was like, I want to go flight-free. Where can I go from London that's kind of a bit more affordable and a bit easy and a bit quick? And that's how I ended up in Lille. I actually used ChatGPT to help me out with Lille. So I was like, oh, where can I go that's a reasonable day trip away from Lille? And one of the options was Bruges. And I was like, oh, that actually looks lovely. I'd love to go there. So that's how I ended up here. It was only an hour on the coach. So yeah, really easy. And about £25 for the return, which is a lot cheaper than the trains were coming back at. And then earlier this year, my mum wanted to go to Portugal to celebrate her 60th. And I was like, oh God, I don't want to do this many flights in a year. I already had a couple of other holidays booked. So I decided to get the coach, but I stopped off in Paris and then Madrid and then Lisbon. So obviously that's not that simple. Like if you want to do a week in Lisbon, to do all that on top, it does drag out. But if you make your holiday around that and you kind of get excited about visiting so many cities en route, then it works really well. When I went to Tenerife, I flew because I couldn't make that one work. But it's just stuff like that. It's about really re-envisioning your holidays and getting excited by it. But yeah, one important thing is that I'm very new to this, so it's really exciting for me. It's kind of like opened up travel to me. It's got me feeling a bit more creative. But I do understand that it'll get kind of boring after a while. Like there are only so many Eurostar destinations, and sometimes you want to go a bit further afield without spending like days traveling. So it's good to integrate into your life, but I think it's quite hard to make it your go-to for every holiday. Or at least that's how I'm finding it. I will say though, it's so nice being able to take like your liquids on board. I've not had to deal with any really ridiculous faffy carrier restrictions like you get on like Ryanair and other airlines. So I would definitely say that's one of the biggest pros of travelling flight free. I guess the rest. If I've not already said, a Flixbus is so much more comfortable than an airplane seat or a train seat. Just like if you're paying for like the normal bog standard class. And I had a lovely nap. It just surprised me, like especially once you're like in like mainland Europe, how many lovely destinations are actually a reasonable bus journey away. I'd say anything up to 4 hours is actually quite pleasant. You can just tune out, it's comfy, put your music on. If you get a late night when you can go to sleep, even up to 8 hours, you can just literally sleep there, save money on a hotel. It's wonderful. I think it's like the ones where it's like 13 hours and above where I've struggled. Give it a go just once, find a route that you think you can handle. Maybe it's something you'll never do again, or maybe it's a new favorite way to travel. One thing that a lot of people bring up to me when I talk about flight free travel is definitely time off. And yeah, I totally get that. I'm an influencer, I work for myself, so if I'm like, Nicole, can I have the time off to go on holiday and extra time off to do it flight free? It's not only like, yeah, of course you can, it's more like, oh, great idea, great content, go do it. So like when I do flight free travel, it's actually work for me. So it's the opposite of needing time off, to be quite frank. And also I think I always forget that not everyone lives in London. So for me it's really easy because my travel can really start in London. It's already kind of like the south of the country, so it's a lot quicker to get to places like Lille or Madrid or wherever. I understand it's completely different for to everyone else basically. So where I think it isn't that bad, I am kind of like the perfect person to be doing it, and it just aligns so well with me and I get so many benefits from it, more so than the average person. I know that some companies have started doing like extra days off in lieu if you decide to go flight free, and I'd love to see that like expand, like say maybe get a couple of extra days off because you've decided to get the train instead of flying. So yeah, I think that is one of the biggest barriers to flight free travel, because a lot of people don't have that many days off, and days off are precious. And I understand when someone's like, I don't want to spend 20 hours on a coach, I just don't want to, and I'm like, fair enough. Because much as I can try and do more flight free holidays, the second a family member or a friend group wants to go somewhere a bit further afield where you can only really get there by flying in your own lifestyle, it is like so hard to say no to, and I don't really want to encourage anyone to say no to it either. I just think those trips are so special and they're worth traveling for. We kind of do need the industry to get a bit better, so to make it a bit more appealing to go to the flight free locations, to get more high-speed trains, to make them more affordable. Just like there are loads of things that can be done, and yeah, it's just hard to miss out on a group holiday. My family last year had a group holiday to Mexico. Like me and a couple of my cousins were all turning 30 at the same time, and they were like, let's do a big group trip to Mexico, and this was like for my birthday as well. And I was like, one, I don't think I could really afford it, so that was one big reason why I didn't want to go. But also it was like, it was a big flight for somewhere that I wasn't really that fussed about going to, especially not on like the holiday they had planned, which was kind of like resort boozy holiday. I'm like, I can do that much closer to home. Like if I'm going to travel far, I really want to be absorbed in the culture. I don't know. So there were just like a number of reasons why it didn't really work for me, and it wasn't a holiday I was willing to just like go on and spend a lot of money on. But do I get FOMO? A little bit, yeah. And then also in a couple of weeks on this year where I'm trying to do more flight free travel, I'm actually off to Croatia with a few friends, and I am not getting the bus there. I'm not extending that. It's in August, so I did consider maybe extending it, going to Hungary for a bit, or like, you know, just exploring a bit more individually to make it a bit more worth the flight. Well, like once you're there, you can then go travel so many different places by coach. But like it's August, everything's so expensive, I can't afford to do it. It's about maybe being a bit more strategic with your holidays basically, and it takes a bit more forethought, and I don't want anyone to feel like they have to miss out in the name of the environment. Like, take your holiday, honestly. Don't make yourself suffer. I'm not making myself suffer. I am trying to explore more flight free options. I'm trying to be part of the movement that makes it more appealing and interesting, but I've not cut out flights, so please do not feel like I'm here saying you're awful if you get flights. I'm just saying be more open to flight free. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed the conversation. I have been thinking a lot about flying this year, a lot about whether or not we should be cutting down, about whether or not we should feel responsible for those emissions, what we can really be doing. Yeah, whether or not like going flight free, going vegan, are they the same in effort? Are they the same in impact? Honestly, I haven't come to a definitive answer, have I? Compared to veganism, it's a lot easier to give up meat than to give up flights, my own personal opinion. I think we should all give a flight free holiday a go. That is our goal for the next year. I'm not saying don't fly, I'm just saying give a flight free holiday a go. See if it broadens your horizons instead of just restricting it. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again soon, and au revoir. Mwah.